Hi guys, my name is Becca. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm here with another weekly reading check-in. Newts edition, I guess, though I read more books that weren't for the Newts that were. It's fine. I'm only reading 9 books for the Newts. I will link my TBR video as well as my last week's video, either in the cards down below, whatever I decide to do. Yeah. So this video is just to talk about the books I'm reading as well as other stuff I did throughout the week, like what movies I watched, TV shows, video games, stuff like that. So yeah, we can start getting to that. So yeah, before we get into the books, let's talk about all the other stuff. I read a lot throughout, from last week, so a lot to talk about that way. Or for those. So, yeah, if you can't tell, I'm really tired. I have no energy. I got, like, no sleep. Love this for me. I probably look awful. Okay. I'm hating this lipstick. Yeah, I'm hating it. Okay, so, yeah, so, I have no energy, guys. Okay. Alright, what did I do first? I finished Goof Troop. So last week I talked about what I'm doing with Disney Plus and how I'm utilizing it more and stuff like that. If you want to know more, again, my last week's video will be up in the cards or down below, whatever I decide to do. And I got Goofy and I watched the 2 movies and really enjoyed those. Last week I talked about that. And then I was still watching Goof Troop, and I was freaking hating it so much. It was like, I'm hate watching it. That's what it was. And I got like 30 to 35 episodes in, and there's 78 episodes. Okay. And I just couldn't do it anymore, so I skimmed it. Like, I skim watched it for the rest of it. Like, I literally just put it on fast forward and just, watched it that way. Pretty much finished within a day, and I was fine. I mean, you read the title and you know exactly what's going to happen. I'm sorry, it was just awful. It wasn't really funny to me. It was just so predictable, so stupid. This is a 90s show, but there are so many 90s shows that I really liked, and I'm just, this wasn't one of them, so no thanks. Then we rolled again for, another Disney, and we got Finding Nemo, and I watched Finding Nemo and Finding Dory, and actually enjoyed them. I gotta say, I liked Finding Nemo a little bit more than Finding Dory. They were like my favorites. I didn't love them, but they were cute. They were good. Maybe I would rewatch if they were on. I wouldn't go out of my way though to rewatch like I would for some other ones. They just weren't my favorites, We re-rolled again and we got Dumbo. So we haven't watched Dumbo. It's the Dumbo animated and Dumbo live action. So talk more about that next week. And whatever else we actually get. So, okay, there's that. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is another show that I'm watching, though I've taken, like, days off. Didn't mean to, it just happened. I really haven't really found the time to watch them. I'm in the middle of part 3. Yes, I think. I'm really enjoying it, though. I didn't want to take these days off, but I've been doing so much every day that I just pretty much pass out before I even get to before I even get to watch like a couple episodes. I just pass out. So yeah, video game wise, I'm really just playing Final Fantasy 14 and Dead by Daylight, which is what I've been playing. Final Fantasy 14, I took a long break and now I'm back. There's more stuff. They updated. There's a new patch. I'm loving it. It's great. And I'm playing with all my friends again and my family, and it's just fun. Dead by Daylight, I'm playing with my friends and my brother, and it's a lot of fun. I'm really loving it. I am honing my skills as a killer. I'm not great, but I'm trying to be. So, practicing on trying to kill everybody, so that's just fun. So yeah, that was it for those. Sorry, just wanted to move that. So, now we can talk about the books that I read. Like I said, there's a lot. I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I guess it's just 7. Thought I read 8. Still, that's a lot to me. And I'm in the middle of 2. So yeah, that works. Okay, so the first one that I finished that I was currently reading last week was Archangels of Viper by Nalini Singh. This is the 10th book in the Guild Hunter series, and this one follows Holly and Venom. Holly was a character you met in the very first book. She was taken by this psychotic archangel that was hellbent on bloodlust, and he turned her into a vampire. Her blood turned venomous, and now her and Venom are like the only 2 vampires that have venomous blood, and so they pretty much have to stick together because he's the only one that like knows what she's going through, and he can help her and everything like that, and their blood is immune to each other, so they can actually feed off each other without being poisoned. And it was really cute. I really loved the romance, and I actually really enjoyed the characters. Even though I didn't really know much about Holly or Venom, I still really enjoyed them in this book. And there's a bounty out on Holly, and you don't know why, and so they're trying to figure out who put the bounty on her and why they did that, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. So I give 4 stars. I really hate talking about this book. Next up is Faking It by Rebecca Smith. I just recently got this as a review copy from NetGalley. I requested it like the day before I got it or something like that. Okay. This is UK based, which a modern contemporary UK setting is apparently not at all what I like. And I should have known that going into this, but I really just try and find something that I like. And I thought the description of this sounded really good. It was just about a woman who writes an erotic novel, and I thought it'd be sexy. Then I found out it's about a middle-aged woman who writes an erotic novel, and none of it is sexy. At all. At all. And then they're like, well, your book is supposed to be funny. And I'm just like, what's so funny about any of it? Like, I guess you're sort of getting her writing style, and I guess her book and this book is supposed to be funny and somewhat sexy, and it's just like, okay. And then like this book I guess should like reflect on that, but to me it doesn't. Like, it's not sexy at all, and it's not funny at all, even though some people, like, I've read reviews and some people found this very funny. Okay, it's just not for me. The writing isn't for me. The characters were just not for me at all. I just didn't like it. And I felt like in the very beginning that I was thrown into something that I should have known more about, but I didn't. And then I realized why. Because at the very end, it says if you like this book, then you should check out the first book in the series. So yeah, this is a sequel, and nowhere in the description does it say that. And I'm just like, I got so mad about it. Like, I was fuming. Because this is the second time that happened to me. And it's the second time it was like a UK copy, or, you know, like a modern contemporary UK base that I was hoping to really like, and found that I absolutely hated. I gave that 2 stars. I'm so done with that book. I'm so done with, you know, trying to like find those books on NetGalley, because they're just not for me. So yeah, I mean, look, you might really enjoy it. I just didn't. That's for sure. And I really don't appreciate going into a book that's a sequel, and nowhere in the description does it say it's a sequel. Now, yes, part of that's on me. I should have done my research, and from now on I will, for sure. But it just really sucks that I have to hate read something that I really don't want to. And I was reading that along with watching Goof Troop. So I was hate watching something while hate reading something. And it was pissing me off. I was just in that shitty mood, like, every day I was reading that and watching, which I only made 2 days because I was like, I'm finishing this book and I'm done with it. I couldn't even DNF it because I didn't have like a true reason to DNF, so I just, yeah. Alright, after that I read Night of Darkness by Kelly McGregor. Kelly McGregor is actually Sherilyn Kenyon. I don't know why I can't talk. Oh yeah, I do. I haven't slept. So this is the second book in the Lords of Avalon series. I've talked about how it's like a King Arthur type land. I mean, you have Camelot, you have Avalon. On this one, we follow Varian, who is like the assassin for Avalon, even though he is the son of someone from Camelot. Camelot's evil, Avalon's good. That's just how it goes. And his mother in Camelot is an evil bitch. And he is like half good, half like his father's Lancelot, so there's that. Even though Lancelot was kind of a dick too, but you know, whatever. Even though he lived in Avalon, so he was good, I guess. Whatever. But he's an assassin for the good side, and he gets captured by his mother, you know, evil bitch mother, and tortured by her. And she's trying to find out secrets of, you know, Avalon, trying to get, you know, what the Holy Grail, pretty much. And he won't give it up. And so she sends in her slave, Merowyn, who is a human that has been with her for hundreds of years, I think it is. And she cursed her, and now she's, you know, she cursed her to look ugly. I don't know why. And now she's making her beautiful, so she would go in to see the sun and seduce him, get him to spill the secrets. He won't. Her plan backfires. They end up escaping and falling in love, and that's pretty much it. I gave it 3 stars. It was fine. I just don't love this sub-series. It's a sub-series of the Dark Hunter series, pretty much. Or at least it kind of correlates with the Dragon series, trilogy, whatever. That is a sub-series of the Dark Hunter series. And I don't love those. So, even though it's like a King Arthur type telling, and I should love that, I just don't. So, there's that. After that, I read and finished Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. I was just really in the mood for this, especially after reading books that I wasn't enjoying. I was also reading another book. I'm always trying to have a physical and an ebook, and actually I think I just read this as an e-copy because I was technically physically reading this one. So we'll talk about that, but I finished this one first. And, oh man, I just loved it. I really did. I want to say I gave it a 5 out of 5 again. Yeah. Even though this has an issue of cheating in it, I think it was done well. Like, there were moments that it was just, you know, like, they knew they were emotionally cheating, but they were trying hard not to. And, you know, in my opinion, I can understand that. Like, you know, you can't help who you fall in love with. I totally get that. And you can understand why Ridge would want to stay with his girlfriend, because there's a reason for that. It's not, like, the best reason, but there's a reason. So, like, it was an understandable situation that, yeah, there are moments that, you know, like, they kind of took things a little too far, but they really tried hard not to. And, I mean, for the sake of, like, the drama and everything, I could understand why some things had to happen. So, I still gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It was fantastic. I really loved it. And now it's continuing on with Maybe Now, which is the second book in the series. And it's still continuing, which I'll talk about in a little while because I'm currently reading that book. So I just feel like I feel like I really love it. Also, there's the element of music in this because Ridge is a musician, and Sydney writes lyrics for him because he's in a moment of writer's block. And that's just really how they met. And Sydney ends up walking in on her boyfriend and her best friend / roommate screwing. So, I mean, she didn't want to be like her best friend, which, again, it's all, like, completely understandable why certain things happened, and, yeah. But, yeah, so she moves in with Ridge as a roommate, not knowing at first that he has a girlfriend, and then realizing finding out he has a girlfriend, and just, yeah. It was just really good. I really loved it. I do really love Colleen Hoover's writing, and I do love her characters and her stories, and I just feel like sometimes they just really work, and they're just really fun to read. And yeah, do I even have this one signed? I do. I got this one signed by her because I got it during an event. I can't remember, but yeah, I just really liked it. I do want to get physical copies of the other 2 books as well. Let's talk about Home Before Dark. So, this is by Riley Sager. This is like a haunted house kind of ghost story type book. And, oh man. So, we follow our main character, Maggie. By the way, sorry, I really hate when that happens. We follow our main character, Maggie, who is 30 years old. And when she was 5 years old, her and her family lived in this haunted house for 20 days. Though, I mean, they lived in this house for 20 days. Okay. And they, like, after 20 days, they ended up, like, fleeing this house. And the only reasoning that she gets is when her father writes this book of their stay in this house. And he claims that it's haunted. She calls bullshit. She doesn't believe that at all. And now, it's 25 years later. She's 30 years old. And her father has since passed away. And she has just learned that they own the house. She has inherited the house because of her father's passing. And she's like, all right, I'm going to go back to the house. I'm going to fix it up, sell it, and be done with it. And when she gets there, some things start to happen. Some, very suspicious and creepy things start happening. And now she's really wondering if her father's book is fiction or non-fiction like he claims. And I very much enjoyed this book all the way up until the end. So the thing with this book, and the thing with Riley Sager in general, is that his premises are so good. So good. And he almost delivers on, like, what you want. And then at the very end, it's like, I'm kidding. Just kidding. So, it was so good. And I feel like this book, for what it was perfection. But I wanted just one thing. Just one. I just wanted something slightly different. And if it would have been different in the way I wanted, just slightly, I would have given this a full 5 out of 5 stars. But because it didn't deliver on the one thing I wanted, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So it's still fantastic. It's still so good. I might even go back and read it. You do get chapters of the father's book, so it is a book within a book, which is just so good and so creepy and so, oh man. But I just wanted something slightly different. So, gonna say that. But it is really good. I very much enjoyed this. Lock Every Door was good as well, but I feel like that ending too was just like kind of weird for me. This was a lot better in my opinion, though I gave 4 stars to Lock Every Door and 4.5 to this. They're the only 2 books I've read by Riley Sager, and they're like, well, this is the 3rd thriller I've ever read. So I really love thrillers like this, and I want more, so gotta say, if you know any haunted house stories that's not like Haunting of Hill House, because I've seen the movie and the show, and I think I've even read the book a long time ago, maybe, something like that, or I attempted to read it, I don't remember, but I do very much like those-esque stories, and this is a very much like a Haunting of Hill House-esque story, so I just really want more. Okay, so yeah, that's a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Okay. So, I think we only have a couple more books to talk about, really. Yep. Maybe Not by Colleen Hoover, which is 1.5 in the series. This is literally a 150-page novella, Warren and Bridget's story. Okay, Warren and Bridget are side characters, the other roommates in Ridge and Sydney's apartment. And Warren, like, you find out, or in this, you see how Warren and Bridget first met, how they, how Bridget became a roommate in this apartment, and you see the relationship all throughout, even through Maybe Someday, and just, it's so good. It's so good. I love their relationship. I love Warren as a character. I just think he's equal parts hilarious and serious, and he's got really good, he's got really good moments, and he says some really smart things at times, and I'm just, even in Maybe Now, which is the second book in the series, I still love his character, and I love him and Bridget, and it was so good, and I gave this, before I gave it a 5 out of 5, but I think I'm just gonna give it a 4 out of 5, maybe a 4.5 out of 5. I still really love it. I can't remember, but there's something that I was just like, oh, okay. I can't remember what it was. I really can't. But you also get to see Warren's family in this, which you don't get to see in Maybe Someday, or maybe, the Maybe Now that, I'm currently reading. But it was so cute, and I loved it. 4.5 out of 5 stars. Okay, lastly, that I've completed is You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hoggle. This is the last book I've completed for the week. Then we can talk about the books that I'm currently reading, though I pretty much already talked about Maybe Now enough. This is about two characters, Naomi and Nicholas. And they met, they started dating, they fell in love. Where you kind of begin in the story is after they're engaged. You do get to see in the very beginning, like, how they meet, like, their first date and everything, but it quickly, like, fast forwards to when they become engaged, and kind of when their relationship kind of goes downhill. Both of them just aren't feeling the relationship anymore, and they're not feeling this engagement anymore, and it really is just, like, they both want out, but neither is willing to leave. Like, they don't want to be the one to leave. I guess there's supposed to be this bet that, I don't know, because I remember, like, hearing there was a bet, and there really, there is a bet. I guess whoever really leaves has to pay for the wedding, though that's not really discussed much in this book, but it's fine. Because I guess it is, like, insinuated, but it's not really discussed. So, yeah, neither one of them wants to foot the bill for the wedding. Actually, now, if I remember correctly, it was, like, discussed for, like, a minute. Okay. But, yeah, neither one of them wants to foot the bill for the wedding, and so they just continue to prank each other, and just try to make the other miserable, so one of them, the other would leave. But in doing so, they end up realizing they both were at fault for the relationship going downhill, and it just, I will say, Naomi at times really pissed me off. I can understand why she was upset at times. I really could. But then I could really understand why Nicholas was upset at times. Like, when he really wanted to open up about why he was miserable and why he just, wasn't feeling this relationship anymore, I hated her. Because she she just wanted to blame him for everything. She didn't want to take any fault. And I was, like, totally with him with that she needed to take some kind of fault. I will say it resolves, it's cute. I very much enjoyed this. I want to say I gave this, like, a 4 or 4.5. Because I hate that Goodreads doesn't allow you to do half-star ratings. So it says I gave it a 4. So I almost gave it a 5. I think I would have given it a 5 if it wasn't for, like, the beginning, because the beginning wasn't great. But, like, oh man, this is how it went. The beginning was, like, 3 stars, the middle was, like, 4 stars, and that ending was 5 stars. That was a 5-star. I stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning reading, like, half this book. I didn't care. I was in love with it. Oh, man. So it's like a 4.5 star. I just knocked it a half star for the beginning, which is fine. I really enjoyed this. So, yeah, this was just a fun read. I did laugh. I did cry. I felt a lot of emotions with that book, and I'm just so happy I read it. Alright, lastly, let's talk about the books. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I don't have a main copy for this one book. Which, let's just get that one out of the way. Which you already know is coming. It's Maybe Now by Colleen Hoover. I had to keep reading. I really did. So why is this so... There we go. That's better. Oh man. So this literally takes place the day after the ending of this book. Literally the next day. And we even follow Maggie in this book. So we get perspectives from Ridge, Sydney, Maggie, and this new guy, Jake, that's kind of in Maggie's life. And I'm kind of like falling for him too. He's so hot. He's a doctor. He's a cardiologist. As well as, like, he does skydiving lessons too. Like, he takes people out skydiving. You know what I mean? Like, he's a skydiving instructor. Why can't I find words? No. No. Okay. Okay. Oh, I was so afraid. I was so afraid. Okay. That scared me for a second. You have no idea how many times I tried to film this video, and I thought that call was going to go through my phone. And, of course, I film on my phone. Oh, my God. I almost had a heart attack right there, because... Not really. But still. I was really upset. Okay. Now we're okay. So that was good. I hate these calls. I'm getting them all the time. Spam calls, man. Okay, so, yeah. He's a cardiologist, and then he does skydiving instructing on the side. He has this really cute fucking kid. Like, really cute kid. And I'm in love with him. Okay? So, in this, we follow Maggie after the breakup. I mean, I'm hoping you guys have read maybe someday. I mean, you gotta see that was coming. So, Maggie has CFRD, which is cystic fibrosis. I can't talk. Related diabetes. And because of that, she wants to live her life to the fullest. And so she decides to go skydiving, and she meets Jake. And then she somehow gets into a hospital, I'm not going to say, and there's Jake. And it just, oh my God, so cute. Even though they're going back and forth, I'm still loving them, so it's fine. The drama between her, Sydney, and Ridge, and even Warren too, I'm living for. Like, there are times where I totally understand where Maggie's coming from, because she doesn't know when she's going to die. Like, she could die at any moment. She doesn't have very much longer to live. I should say, she's not going to live a full life, is what I should say. She doesn't know when she's going to die. But she won't live a very long life. And she wants to just live her life to the fullest. Ridge wants her to take things easy. Drama right there. So I can understand when she gets mad and she feels like she's a burden on them, and but then, and like when Ridge wants to hold her back from doing what she wants to do, like I get it when she's coming from. And obviously, with what happened with Sydney and Ridge and everything, I get some of the anger. Then there are times where I just want to smack the shit out of her because I feel like she's just so in the wrong and she's so annoying, and I just hate her. I go back and forth with her, and I feel like that's really good. Like, obviously she's human, she's going to make mistakes, she's going to do and say and think things that are just going to piss me off, but hopefully resolve them soon. And Ridge also is going to do those things too, and Sydney too. And I'm just really loving the fact that you're able to see their flaws, and you're able to see, like, they're human, they make mistakes, they're not going to be perfect. And it's so good. It's so good. I'm in love with this series. And it's been a long time since I've read Maybe Someday, because this was a reread. And so is Maybe Not. Both of them I've read before. But Maybe Now, pretty much just came out. I can't remember when. When did this come out? Okay, it came out in 2018, but still, it's a relatively newer release. And yeah, I'm just really enjoying it. I'm 60% of the way in, so I'll be done with that tomorrow sometime, but I'm just loving it. So the one other book that I'm reading is Seasons of the Storm by El Casama. By the way, oh my god. This was part of the Newts. None of the other ones were. This was to read a hilarious book, and it's the first one in the Charms. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the first in Charms. So this is the acceptable prompt. There. Season of the Storm is the exceeds expectations prompt to read a book set in winter, which some of it is, some of it's not. We followed Jack, which is our main character, who is the embodiment of winter, so I'm counting it. And it's just so good. Like, it's actually really good. It's literally just, here we go again. You see what I mean? It's like all the time. Thankfully, it's going straight to my iPad and not my phone right now, because I would literally be screaming. Okay, let's try and like get this quick so I can hurry up and stop this video. Okay, so yeah, it's literally about Jack, our main character, who's in the embodiment of winter, and Fleur, who is the embodiment of spring. And in this world, the seasons, in order to progress to the next season, has to kill the last season. You know what I mean? So Jack would have to kill Amber, who is fall. Then Fleur would have to kill Jack, and then Summer, who is Julio, would have to kill Fleur, and Amber would kill Julio, and like it would just be a cycle every year. It would always happen. But Fleur and Jack end up falling in love, and that's going to be the main issue. Also, in this, Fleur, so it's like a program, and you get points for like kills and like how fast you can do it and how quick you can stay alive, like how long you can stay alive, pretty much. Fleur is the worst of the bunch. She, like, I guess there's this line, and she's falling behind below the line, and because of that, she could be terminated, which I do mean killed. So Jack wants to stop that from happening, and the four of them end up teaming up and like escaping this program, and it's really good. It's like really good so far. I am 193 pages in. I'm actually in part 2. I literally just made it to part 2, which is like chapter 21. And yeah, I'm very much enjoying this book. Hopefully I'll be able to finish that throughout the weekend, and I'll actually be able to get through my last prompt for Charms, which is the outstanding prompt, and that's just to read a manga, which is Skip Beat. I want to get to this. This is going to be really quick. I could finish it in like 2 days. Yeah, I could finish it in 2 days. It'll be fine. And then I can go on to my last class and exams for that. So that's it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that this was so long, but yeah, I had a lot to talk about. I mean, when I read so much in a week, yeah. I'm glad I'm doing this and not just leaving it for my wrap-up, because my July wrap-up I still haven't touched. I still have to film, and I'm so afraid to film it. Like, I'm dreading it, because I read like 27 to 28 books. Something like that, 26 to 28 books in July, and I don't have any record of, like, I have Goodreads shows that I've read it, but I didn't talk about any of those books in any videos, really. So I'm going to have a very long wrap-up, or I'm not going to be able to talk about the books at all, really. Like, I probably won't even be able to talk about synopses. I'll probably just be able to talk about, like, my feelings and what I rated, and just keep going. So, yeah. Stay tuned for that video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again with another. Bye. Happy reading.